welcome back everybody to the ESL India Premiership brought to you by HyperX, Intel and of course the one and only bringing us the ESL India Premiership from last year, owned by HP.
You're really happy to be back on there, aren't you?
I'm excited and I'm ready to give this town a veggie again.
And by the way, just saying, I'm Aditya Shah. I'm your CSGO analyst since our host forgot to introduce me.
Yeah, definitely.
Although they know me better than they know you, so it's
yeah.
it's okay.
I mean, sure. Whatever shines and blinds people is.
Of course, exactly. Like Fed has said that multiple times, right? My forehead is brighter than his future, which is true now because Fed's trying to become a developer. So that's even more true now. But yeah. Anyway, about today's game.
Yes, today's game. First of all, minor-ish recap about what happened previously before Adi joined us here. We had an interesting game of Clash Royale between Sushil, Abhi and Camille, which went in Camille's favor. And also it brings to light the first day of the ESL India Premiership, the first time Adi has sat on a Clash Royale game as a host. So yesterday, sadly, I wasn't here, like I was saying when we began this stream. Today, I wasn't here. I was out of town and
he didn't show up to work.
As Adi likes to put it, which was essentially an email which I screenshot and sent to Adi. Hey, read the date. It says still English language. But moving on, that's not the point. The point is Adi hosting a Clash Royale game for a person who spent his life breathing, living Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It was funny.
It was a good learning experience also.
But it was nice.
Yeah,
you did well. You did well.
Thank you.
I'll give you points for effort.
Thank you. But plus, the good thing was I could just explain the format, right? Which we've changed since I'm the head of the Premiership now.
We have now the bands
I could just
and
change
stuff happening.
Right?
Yeah. So now moving on to the game at hand here, we have an interesting and intense game of Counter-Strike Global Offensive happening. Yeah. But this game happening between VAR Gaming and VAC Banned.
Yeah.
We'll come to them later. VAC Banned, if people who are like joining us from last year's edition. It will be nostalgic for you to find me and Adi here talking about a team called VAC Banned because last year they were one step short of being so. In our books, that is, not in real life. But talking about real life.
By the way, talking about bad names, this is what we were talking about last time as well, right? VAR, you know the full form of VAR. Do you want to hazard a guess?
Yeah, okay, cool.
Hazard a guess?
I'm hazarding a guess. Wait, allow me like a second. Like,
it's a rapid fire.
What? What is a rapid fire?
Anyway, their full form is We Are Real. Either way, anyways, I hope their skills are real. But also, I do want to mention our original game stated for today, also according to the stream and according to any of the media, whatever, anything you saw on social media,
was
actually, it was ATE Gaming.
I was very surprised when this changed.
So this changed at 6:30 when ATE Gaming said we have lost and we cannot play the game. We need till 7:30. And our rules are very clear about this, by the way. I give you time till 7:15. Literally, I give you time till 7:15. If you can't show up for your game, if you're not ready in the server, you will be disqualified.
And hence you've been disqualified.
And now we've gone to a backup game, which is luckily happening because for the first week we're doing 2 games a week. But after that it's just one game per day. Sorry, 2 games a day. And it's going back after this week to just 1 game a day. So yeah, I mean, fortunately we have a really good game as well, which is VAC Banned versus VAR. And
I like to hold ye horses, my mate. Before we move on to VAR versus VAC Banned, let's take a step back. Considering that I was not there yesterday, I've heard of some fiasco-esque scenes happening.
Yeah, so all right, I actually did want to make this make an official statement on the stream as well. So what actually happened yesterday was an amazing match, by the way. It was 2EZ versus Entity. It went straight down to the wire. It was 16-13. Entity won. Now a little bit of a controversy happened. The thing is, it was an honest mistake by Entity and by Entity's coach, Aquitas. Now, Aquitas is also a member of So Strong. So, he got access to the GoTV, which we gamers have a muscle memory. You open the So Strong app, you click the app, you'll be like, watch this game, and you just go into the GoTV, right? Now, the thing is, this GoTV is not accessible to the public. It's not even accessible to the coaches of teams or anything. It is only accessible to ESL India staff, like us, and it's also accessible only to So Strong staff. Now, we've taken measures, obviously, to fix that now. But anyway, so he was in the GoTV. Luckily, the GoTV had a delay. But yeah, it was an unfair advantage. So we have overturned the game. So the game has actually now gone 16-13 in favor of 2EZ. to be fair to Too Easy and to be fair to everybody else, because our coaching rules are set in stone. They're set in stone by Valve in 2016. Coaches are not allowed to join the server. Coaches are not allowed to speak to so this is on LAN. Coaches are not allowed to speak to their players during the game. They're only allowed to speak during the 30-second timeouts and during halftime and during warm-up, not during the game. You cannot be a sixth man. You cannot be an in-game leader all the time, from the back just shouting commands all the time. So in light of those rules and in light of the unfair advantage that Aquitas may have gotten, we have reversed the scores. Yeah, reverse the scores, reverse the points. So Too Easy has won that game now, 16-13. We did not want to make this 16-0 because we trust Aquitas and we trust Entity Gaming as well to not act. They didn't mean to cheat. So, but although it was an undue unfair advantage, hence we have taken this step.
Well, another day in the ESL India Premiership.
It was the first day. The first day, and we have a controversy. Like, I love it. I love Indian esports, right? Because of this.
Like last year, it started off with somebody using hacks, which was not his account, and then that person got banned, and then the team disbanded. This time, it's the first day. So
yeah, we would have actually seen that as well. We would have seen Malhar, which is ex-Eternal Gaming, by the way. They, Forsaken, the player in question, actually joined Malhar. Well, joined Eternal Gaming. Then the Eternal Gaming manager said, we're not doing a team anymore, sorry, bye-bye. Kicked his players out. So then Malhar eventually was formed by the players of Eternal Gaming, and then they kicked Forsaken and picked up somebody else. And this is before the season even started. But I think we should get to the game. By the way, I do think that the players are ready, by the way. They have been ready ever since we even got here. So I do want to go ahead with the game. I do want to just announce that it is Wargaming versus VAC Banned. VAC Band's lineup is Jimmy, Chris, Freekill, Rane Kaka, and Spawn God. He's added God to his name now.
I see you guys, and I noted, point noted, my blessings are with you, Spawn God.
Are you saying because he's Spawn God, you will slay him?
No, because I will not slay him. He's... Actually, yeah, I will slay him.
Okay. And War's lineup, by the way, is Kazi, Oops, Finish, Smoke, and Saz. S-A-Z. I hope it's pronounced Saz.
Very similar to this Batman villain called Victor Zaz.
Yeah, but anyways, these guys are known to us. They've been in 2017. So yeah, it's
that's all you have to add.
Yeah, these guys are known to us, so it should be an interesting game.
That's all you have.
Yeah, I just want to get straight into the game actually because they have been waiting. It's rude for us to keep them waiting as well.
All right, of course. But it's funny to see Adi like this. Before we head on to the game, minor thing to be noted by all our viewers here. If you had caught our stream last year, Adi was not talking like this. He's never been this jumpy. Second day of ESL 2018, this guy is like a bobblehead waiting to just like bob. So let's make him bob. Let's make him bob. Let's head on into the game and see what's in store for us. Wargaming versus VAC Banned.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESL India Premiership. Though summer season of the Masters League is underway, it is the second day, and the teams who are going to be facing off against each other are VAC Banned and Wargaming. It's going to be a very exciting clash being played out on Cash, and with me today is the esteemed, the world-renowned, the famous, and the extremely handsome Mama SR.
Oh boy, I've been loving these intros. You always come up with something new every single day, and it's a pleasure to be here. And just by the way, for all the viewers who don't know, we actually asked for the first time yesterday, and it was pretty good because we did not go through it, and it was just an unspoken 2-second rule that so that we don't talk over each other. And well, the knife round has been done dusted. It's going to be the pistol round coming up. VAC Banned are going to start upon the CT side of Smoke and a kid onto Rane Kaka, and that's the most standard you probably have. Oh my God! Oh! The first one, getting the second as well. Nope, that is not going to happen. He's going to wait it out though. And Saz is going to get taken. Kazi is finding the headshot as well. It's the fallback. Rane Kaka throwing in the smoke, trying to survive right there. But it's going to be really, really difficult for him.
I mean, Rane Kaka has taken a ton of damage. He's down to 12 HP. Like, he just has to survive to allow the rotation to come in. It is a 4v3, but both Freekill and Rane Kaka on their last breaths. They're on their dying embers, as they say. And there we go. Down goes Rane Kaka. Down goes Free Kill. And now it's a 2v3. Man advantage wrested from VAC Banned by War. And okay, then they're not going to stop there. Just one sole survivor. That's Chris left on VAC Banned. What can he do? He's in a 1v3. Doesn't have a kit, but there's a kit on towards the B site, I think. Both nice headshot to start things off. For 1v2, they should not be giving him the 1v1s. There we go. One peek comes in. There's the instant re-peek. But Chris is doing a good job of isolating these 1v1s. And there we go. Finally, the double peek comes in. Down goes Chris, and War secure the pistol round.
Well, that was a pretty amazing round coming up. And Spawn did get the amazing first half coming up. And this didn't hold it on. Raka was all alone. He had to throw the smoke. He was down to 12 points of health. And it was pretty impossible for him to hold that angle because he has a USP, and up against Glocks when they are moving really fast from all the sides, it gets a little difficult, and they are all going to force it up with CZs except for Krish, who's going to go in for the deagle. We have 3 Mac 10s, and it's going to be a lot of cash farming coming up from Terrace and 2 AKs to work with as well. So they might as well go in towards mid area and towards A mains area and try and get an opening. We have Oops though watching the B mains push, expecting someone to go out, and well, they're waiting for the CTs to make a move, and maybe if they make a mistake and try and capitalize on it, but it's not going to happen. The CTs playing pretty passively, and Spawn is going to smoke it off a minute and 25 seconds on the clock to work with. So a pretty early smoke coming up without even trying to get any sort of information. So I personally feel that's a waste of the smoke. Well, now they know that there's that will be bomb side, and Oops trying to break the windows towards the side. He's going to fall back. He's going to smoke it off. It is going to be a mid to A split coming up most likely. Unless number 7, that is Oops, I'm presuming. If he wants to come in through mid. Again, it's a really, really slow round. So it's going to be Krish. He's going to be holding the A mains angle with the deagle. If you can get the first pick off, it might be around that the deagle could salvage. But otherwise, it's going to be extremely good. The smoke is going to come in. The flashes are going to pop out as well in a bit. But the smokes are going to be the ones which will cut off the angles. The flash coming up. Krish is going to be absolutely blinded. Jimmy is going to be really blind as well. He's going to go around the corner, get the first, can he get the second as well? He's going to get, oh my god, Saz is going to try and get the refrag. But Free Kill, getting the frag onto Saz. It's going to be reduced to a 2v3 in the favor of the CTs. And they actually played it really well. Even though they were blinded, they did not have enough time to work with. And double peeking, but Oops getting both the frags. Free Kill and Spawn are going to get taken down. Ronekaka is going around the corner, getting the first frag. Oops is going to get taken down. Is going to reduce it to 1v1. Kazi up against Spawn. Kazi has to bring back the fight right now. 32 points of health to work with, a decoy and a nade. Nothing else. He has a secret. He's going to get spawned. Oh boy! 11 points of health to work with. They're still going to pull the round off. And VAC Banned somehow staying in the game and doing so much economic damage on the terrace side. So even if they can try and get 2 guns off them in this round, and if they win the next round for the CTs, it could be the economy breaking down for the terrace side.
I mean, that previous round is the reason why I chastise Indian CS day in and day out. War Gaming. Yes, you won the round, but at the cost of 4 players. How the hell do you lose 4 players to literally armor pistol by? Use your damn utility, boys. Like, यार Molly, Molotov, smoke, flashbang, grenade क्या कबर में लेके जाओगे छाती पे बांध के? भाई फेंको, जेब में लेके मत घूमो. Like, 4 people died with a full kitty of nades. That's just ridiculous.
And I didn't agree with 2 smokes right there, but leaving that aside, we have the CTs on a complete eco round. They're going to all flow in towards Rane Kaka is going to be the sole guy towards Jacob, and he might as well get taken out. Oops is going to be holding that angle, expecting someone to be there. And look at that, the Kazi almost being taken down, but well, Oops is going to be there to back him up. CTs all being taken down to the gap rotation coming up. And one of them, I don't know why he's staying towards the A bomb. So, I mean, what's the point? You don't have anything to save. At least try and go and get the exit flash, but he's going to wait it out towards the A-bomb side. And the other guy, Jimmy, is going to get taken down. And Rich, I think he has lagged out. Otherwise, there's literally no point standing over here.
Well, I mean, Chris is just staying here, trying to deny the economy, I'm guessing, not, giving them $300. War, instead of buying up those 3-4 AK-47s in the previous round, would have done themselves a lot more favors had they gone for more SMGs. And, instead of having to face such an economic setback, just farmed some money in the previous round. And this is the round where they actually needed to do that farming. I would have actually liked to see 2 or 3 Mac 10s on the playing field, because you know that your opponents are going to be full eco. They just lost their force by. They have no money. Just go for the Mac 10s, nut up and push into a bomb site. Get some information, get a few frags, get that SMG money, and just be set for a couple of rounds at least. Now look at their economy, right? You have Finish on $5,000, Oops, Kazi, Baba, all at the $3,900 mark, and Saz sitting with 34. they have one round in them. If they lose this, which is going to be VAC Banned's first buy round, if they lose this round, they can buy up for one more round, but that's it. They have nothing saved up. The idea behind the first two rounds after winning the pistol for any side, is to build up their economy so that you have at least a 2-round buffer before you have to eco again. Because then it's just a single round eco. Otherwise, you're just looking at strained buys over and over again.
I think you are an admin on the server, right? So I'm presuming you might help them out because we don't have an admin on the server and a player has timed out. So it's not really fair on their part to have to use their tactical timeout. So yeah, it's fairly uncertain where our admin is. So we are going to try and get him on the server again. But in the meantime, it was quite unfortunate in the second round, especially when, they lost 4 players on the terrace side. And it was kind of unfortunate. But again, they still have a decent amount of money to work with. So if they lose this round, they're going to have about $4,900 to work with. So they will be able to go in for a buy in the next round. But they do not want to lose this round because if they do lose this one, they won't have a lot of resources to work with. And, I think it was Krish got timed out. So it's going to be interesting to see how it actually pans out. And all of these players, they have been playing for quite a while, and VAC Banned have not really changed the lineup a lot. I think Spawn has been in the team, Jimmy and Ranekaka as well. I'm not quite sure about Free Kill though.
No, everyone has been. I think Jimmy is the new player on the squad. Everyone else has been. At least this was the lineup the previous year as well.
Oh well, then I think I was mistaken because I've seen Jimmy play with these guys, but that was lately, so I'm not quite sure. So talking about VAC Banned. Did not really get off to the best start possible, but it's only been like 3 rounds, and particularly all right. So Fed, you have a really interesting point of view. You and Blair, that certain maps are economy centric. What do you think about Cash?
Same. Cash is a fairly balanced map. If you go through the numbers, it's a fairly balanced win rate for either side, T side and CT side. They're playing to your tunes, the information that you're feeding them, the misinformation that you're feeding them, and just getting better reads than your opponent and having that extra money, that extra bit of utility to direct that flow of misinformation and information more convincingly.
What I'm really surprised about is the fact, especially for the lesser experienced teams, is the fact that they do not go for the Z control a lot of times, even though they have the entire mid control. The CTs are giving up mid. Why they don't even try? I mean, fine, it's understandable that it's a little more risky. The risk reward ratio is high, but it's still possible, right? If they don't want to take Z control, and if you get the Z control, right, pinching B or pinching A is the easiest job in the world. I can't think of a map where it's more easier than this. I mean, that's not even correct. More easier, but never mind.
The thing is, you'll often see like top tier teams that play on Cash, like right off the top of my head. So when this guy, what's his name, Phelps was playing with SK, you'd notice Cash wasn't really one of their top picks, but they had an insanely high win record on it. I don't know why it wasn't one of their top picks, but the way they played that mid control, they'd always have a guy in Z connected to cut off rotations or be the active lurk who'd backstab when the A or the B hit would come in. And more teams should actually be looking at erstwhile SK when Phelps was on the squad, and they used to be good on Cash, and just see how they used to play their the T sides especially. It was just a thing of beauty.
It was a thing of beauty, and it's that just gives you so much power, right? You have literally the entire back end of the map open to you. You can go out and backstab the series, even if your team is going to the B bomb side. Just wait it out, cut off the rotation, try and get a lure going towards the A bomb side, try and call in the rotation and then cut it off. It's literally unlimited possibilities. There are X number of permutations and combinations that you could try, and that's just something that we don't really see all that often. I think there only been like 1 or 2 teams in the country that who do that. So it's kind of upsetting to see, because they don't. One of the things that I'm not really seeing, except for Too Easy, right? The one of the reasons why I love Too Easy so much is because they're basics, right? I was talking to Tito last night, and we were talking about, do they have any contingency plans in the basics and all working out? Even though they are supposed to work out in all 10 out of the 10 games, but there are going to be off days, right? Mm-hmm. 2 out of those 10 games, you're not going to win those matches. Do you have a contingency plan? And honestly, they said, nope, we don't have any, because, Tito feels that the IGL role is actually weighing him down. And I asked him, but I asked him to change it up. He's like, well, no one else is willing to do it, so he's the one who's going to try and do it. But one of the other things that he mentioned was keeping a count of utility that the opposite team uses. So
Yeah.
all of these things combined, right? All of these things combined, teams like War and VAC, but even though they've been around for about 2 years now, I've been seeing them playing through 2016. I remember them at the ROG Masters in 2016 in the online qualifiers. They have had the entire lineup is same as you like to call it, but they've been around for such a long time and they're just stagnant. There's literally been no real progress.
So I like this one point that you brought up is, that too easy gaming like to keep account of the opponent's utility. If you'd noticed yesterday, there was a point in the game where Entity were pushing B with about 45 seconds left on the clock, and Too Easy Gaming still had 2 Molotovs and 3 smokes on them, and 2 of them were on the B defenders, but they didn't use them. So here's the thing: these are things that even Too Easy should be picking up on. It's not just saving your utility for late round, but also having the knowledge and the ability to know when to throw down the smokes and the Molotovs to delay your opponent's pushes and to just hold their aggression. On the flip side, there was a round where Sai and Mazel on the B bomb side literally clutched a 2v5, all based off of 2 flashbangs. First, Sai flashed the moment the CT smoke bloomed, Sai threw a flashbang, which blinded all 4 people trying to aggress him. They stopped dead in their tracks. Exactly 7 seconds later, Mazel threw a second flash, which again blinded all 4 people, and they stood dead in their tracks. And then by the time the hit finally came in, the CT smoke had dissipated, and Sai just had a field day shooting fish in a barrel with his big green gun. And those are the rounds that essentially tilt the game in your favor. And that is proper utility usage, in my opinion. It's not just about having them, but knowing when to use what you've got to its maximum efficiency.
As much as I love both of these teams, Too Easy and Entity, I mean, if a newer player, a lesser experienced player walked up to me asking which team should I follow, I would actually not suggest these guys, at least for the first few weeks, because of the fact that all of these guys in these teams, right? Take a team, be it Tito, Rex, Marcel, Sai, anyone from all of these, from both of these teams. These guys are so experienced. Even if you try and replicate, first thing you shouldn't ever try to replicate the playstyle of any team, any player. Just try and understand why they took that decision. But leaving that aside, I think we are going to go on a really, really short break. I'll actually carry on with this conversation. But for now, we are going to go on a really short